Alright guys, in today's video we're going to be unboxing and reviewing the 4 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem action figures. Let's go. So I got these figures on Walmart.com. They were $5.99 each, and it's definitely a steal. When you go in store, they're what, $9.99 or something like that. I think on Walmart.com to get the 4-pack it was like 30 something bucks. I paid less than 25 bucks for all of these. Let's go ahead and start with Leo. As you can see, just from the box, it's pretty good box art. I love the purple. You got his weapons, you got the rack, you got the mini turtle from him as a baby, but super solid overall. So of course, as with all of them, they're 4+, and this is the leader, Leonardo. On the front of the box, let's take a look at the back. So on the back it has the art for the rest of the gang, and then up here at the top we have description of from the movie. So we also have key art of Leonardo, and we're about to open him up, and you have Raphael, Donatello, Michelangelo, Splinter, and then we have Rocksteady and Bebop. Those two I really want to get. Superfly and Leatherhead. This is from the Wave 1 from the series, so I think they're going to be doing more waves for sure. I don't know if they're on 2 or 3 now, but yeah. So that's Leonardo. Next we have Donatello, and he is the brains of the 4. The super smart one. It is also 4+, but whatever. And we have Donatello's little bio down here. Devastatingly smart. So if y'all want to read that, go ahead and pause and y'all can read his little bio on the bottom. Same thing with the first one. We have all the characters. So bottom of the box, and everything looks good. Michelangelo is next. He is the entertainer. In the movie, he wasn't really the entertainer type or whatever. They kind of made little references, but here's Mikey's little bio from the back. Raph, the angry one, they alluded to that too, for sure, and I wasn't sure how I felt about just the amount of aggression whenever, he was fighting and stuff like that. Here's his little bio. He likes to break things. Anyways, let's get down to these unboxings. Got my handy dandy X-Acto knife. Let's go ahead and start getting these out of the way, and we'll start with Leo unboxing. So initially with Leo, I guess because he was such a stickler with the rules and stuff like that, he was never really my favorite. I mean, I like all of them, but individually, he was never my favorite of the group. But in the movie, I wasn't sure exactly how I was gonna like the movie. I love the art style for sure. A lot of people I know don't like it, but I liked it for what it was. I loved Spider-Verse, and I know there was some people out there thinking, oh man, they're just copying Spider-Verse because it did so well and everything else. This was its own art style, and I think there was interviews with the director and the creative artists and stuff like that who said they went a different route when animated the movie. They wanted it to look like teenagers. It was like a teenager's world. The way it was drawn, like a kid's version of Ninja Turtles. Raph sits about 4.5 inches. Mikey sits at roughly, probably shorter than 4.5. Leo's probably about 4.5, closer to 5, 4 3/4 maybe. Donnie, which I always assumed was the tallest, is roughly 4.5. So more or less 4.5 for all of them. So this is the Turtles, all of their weapon racks, and let's see how Raph looks. Like I said, pretty plain. He has a satchel. He has a little bit of silver on the buckle. His T-pose, it's about how high his arms go, about how wide his legs go. They do swivel, and he can kick sideways if he likes, but like I said, I don't care too much. I wanted to get them because they were so cheap, and I saw a lot of people online that were painting them up and making them look super rad. So um, everything on these turtles are pretty plain. There's hardly any detail, so we're going to be doing some black washing and stuff like that just to bring out some detail. But yeah, I don't know. I like the way they all look. They all have different, heads. They all have different body types and stuff like that. Different scars. Raph in the movie was missing a tooth and everything. Mikey had braces. Donnie with the glasses and stuff like that. So, like I said, they're all pretty plain Jane when it comes to just their color schemes. So these are the two sides, and I know there's a wrap and it's just painted silver, but there's a wrap on one of his sides. All this, the ooze canister, it's kind of gushing out a little bit of ooze. You got the pizza all silvered up. Let's see, he has a kunai, which there's no rope, but he has the two throwing stars, and then he has these. They're kind of like some Cabal from Mortal Kombat, like sheets or something, blades, but hook blades, but they look kind of cool. And then Baby Raph as a turtle, baby turtle. So yeah, like I said, not too much detail in the color schemes. I know there are boxes of the turtles that come out that they're pretty detailed, but those are like $30 a piece. And Leo with his T-pose, he has the two double straps, he has the two throwing stars on his belt, and then he has the sheets for the katanas on the back. Typical Leo. Let's move on to the swords, which I don't know. The swords, they're, like I said, they're pretty plain, but the one on the right, it came bent like that, and I'm probably gonna have to heat it up or do something to kind of, but like I said, there's hardly any detail. They're just plain color schemes, no shading, no extra lines or anything like that, drawn lines, black lines or anything like that. Just all painted specific, straight colors. And then with his weapon rack, he has, let's see, he has the ooze canister, he has the pizza that's completely silver, a throwing star, he has the 3 kunais, and then he has a little dagger, which, like I said, I don't remember him using that at all. And then Baby Leo, same thing as Raph. He's pretty base when it comes to detail and stuff like that, but something nice to have. Baby turtles. Let's go with Mikey next. Mikey, I think I like Mikey's design a lot more than I thought initially I was gonna like it. That big watermelon head kind of grew on me, but same thing with the T-pose. He has the 2 back sheets for the nunchucks that fit really awkward. I would like to switch up the chains on it and put actual chains like what came with the last Ronin Mikey, where he had the actual chain, nunchuck. But we'll see down the road if we do that. Have the 2 peg holes on the bottom as they all do. But yeah, that's Mikey. Then, like I said, you have the 2 nunchucks, and they're pretty stiff. I don't know. It's kind of strange that they're both identically the same. But $5.99, I guess you can't beat that. If I want to do any editing to them or upgrading them, then I'll be able to do that at some other time. But his weapon rack, he comes with the 2 ninja stars, the ooze, a little slice of pizza, and then this microphone nunchuck, double mic nunchuck, which is crazy. I don't know what that came from. I might but yeah, then he came with this kind of hook nunchuck that I think he used in the 2012 Ninja Turtles TV show. And then there's Baby Mikey with the darker shade of green, like I said, just like the other ones, little peg hole. But yeah, little cute Mikey. Still looked like he had that watermelon head. And then there's Donnie. So his head swivels 360 degrees, as they all do. Like I said, real plain. It's a T-pose. How high his arms go. How far back his knee goes. And Let's get the other one back. Yeah, gets a little skippy. And then his, whatever, they decided to go with this route and do the whole swivel of the ankles, which is strange for whatever reason. But he comes with this little fanny pack and that he wears in the movie, and his cell phone sticking out. So I don't know. Pretty cool. He has his sheath for his bow staff. And one thing with Donnie is that he comes with the headphones, which I don't think he comes with the headphones in all of the other box sets or anything. I think with the battle damage double packs that they come with a villain, I don't think he comes with the headphones. And in the big box set with April and maybe Bebop, he doesn't come with the headphones, and he's wearing those headphones around his neck or on his head all throughout the movie. But for whatever reason, they didn't ship, like, you know, decide to put him with the headphones in the box sets or whatever. The other thing is that his eyeglasses, you can take them off, put them on. You know, there's little peg holes and stuff like that on each side of his head. But for sure, like, this one is one of the most controversial turtles out there, just because of this toy line with the headphones. Alright, let's see what comes in Donnie's weapon rack. So we got the bow staff for sure, right? That's the main thing. It's pretty plain. No detail other than the paint job is just very bland. And in his weapon rack, he has the pizza slice, and then he has the ooze, and he has this detachable bow staff thing, and then his ninja star, and then this bladed bow staff, which I think he uses in the 2012 animated show too on Nickelodeon. So at some point I think he uses something. And then you got, you know, baby Donnie, so with the same color scheme as his primary color from the action figure. And last but not least is Raph. Raph is my favorite, and his knee bends back, elbows bend for sure, both knees bend about, you know, yeah, like, you know, just kind of walking. Ankle swivels all the way around 360. Head's a little tight, probably got to warm them up a little bit, but head spins 360 as they all do. Raph from the jump has always been one of my favorites. My favorite color is red, so that was always one of those things where it was always Raph. So he was always one of my favorites just because of his personality too. You know, he doesn't like to be told what to do. He likes to go about his own way. Doesn't really like to follow the rules, but he has a connection with his brothers, and no matter how much he tries to avoid admitting that he has that connection, they're his brothers for life. So yeah, this is all of them standing up with their weapon racks. It took me forever to get Leo because his right leg was like, or his foot was like kind of bent down. The plastic was kind of molded downward, so it took me forever to try to stand him up on his own too. So these are all 4 of the turtles, and with their weapon racks and their baby selves. So all of them look pretty good when you look at them. Let's see, got about 4.5 on Raph, 4.5 inches for Raphael, and then we have 4.5 for Leo, and maybe, I mean, standing full straight up, you probably got about 4 3/4 for Donnie. With Mikey, you have roughly at 4 inches. So Mikey's definitely the shortest. Raph and Leo are probably the same size, 4.5, and then Donnie, I think, is like 4 3/4 inches. Got Raph here with all of his weapon rack and his size sheath. Got Mikey with his weapon rack. He got his nunchucks on the back with baby Mikey down there. Got Leo with his swords sheath and his weapon racks and baby Leo. And Donatello with his bow staff and his weapon rack and baby Donnie. So all 4 looking good. Here we are with Raph. You know, we got him on this rotating base. Here's Mikey with the light. I got the light reflecting on him with his weapon rack. He does have a goofy head. I mean, I don't know. He definitely has a watermelon head. So, and then we have Donnie with the light. And then we have Leo. Yeah, I mean, that's everything that comes with the turtles, with the four individually, with their weapon racks and their primary weapons and the baby turtles. So I'm still working on this unboxing. I'm still working on this YouTube stuff. So trying to get all my volume control down and my video editing down and everything else. So I got a lot going on, but I'm trying to stick to it. So until then, man, we'll see you on the next one. Deuces.